Before we start this video, I'd like to take a minute to acknowledge our newest supporter.
Yeah, we want to say thank you and give a shout out to Derek Weatherly, who supported recently.
Thank you.
Yeah, and Jose, why don't you tell them if they want to be supporters like Derek, how they can do that?
Yeah, if you want to be awesome like Derek, you can go to anchor.fm/lbht/support. And also, if you want to support now, you can click on or scan the QR code and go to our Cash App, LBHT Show. Also, we're going to have a new Patreon page launching very shortly. So there are all kinds of ways to support, and we appreciate any way you can do so. And as always, you can hit the like and subscribe button. That is greatly appreciated. Mm-hmm. All right, B. So
now to the less pleasant part of the video.
Yeah. You. And when I say you, I'm talking about the Ravens organization. Okay,
you seem upset. So the Ravens played Tennessee yesterday, and they went down 30-24 in overtime. Derrick Henry got him again, 29-yard touchdown to end the game.
Yeah,
and it's just another in a series of lackluster performances from Baltimore, but particularly from the Ravens defense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, look, we're joking around, but it's not upsetting, right? It sucks as a Ravens fan to go through it, right, and watch them lose like this. But this is pretty much what we saw coming at the beginning of the season. You didn't invest in the offense at all. The defense, no matter how much you invest in the defense, is never going to be able to carry the team the way Ravens fans want them to carry the team. This is not 2000 Ravens. Right. This is in 2002, 2003, 2008. None of those Ravens teams that you remember where Ed Reed could score points for the team. This isn't that. It's never going to be that again. The NFL doesn't want that kind of defense anymore. Right. Mm-hmm. So what you saw was a defense that played solid through most of the game and predictably got worn down at the end and just couldn't hold it together. So what happens? They end up giving up 30 points.
Yeah. I don't think it was all them getting worn down. There is just kind of I want to say a lack of heart, but just almost. Lamar said it. He said he felt like the Titans wanted it more, and you could see that on that 3rd and 10 play down in the red zone where AJ Brown caught the pass and just dragged 4 Ravens defenders into the end zone. He ended that by pushing Patrick Queen the last 5 yards or so. Over the goal line, and nobody could bring him down.
Yeah, no, absolutely. He's absolutely right. And we don't have playmakers like that on offense. This is something that we've been very consistent with, right? Put weapons around Lamar. Get him playmakers. Don't get guys that you think are just good enough. 1, they're not good enough, right? 2, when you need to go down the field and put up some points quick, you need guys that can make plays.
Yeah.
And I'm here to tell you, outside of Lamar, there is nobody on that offense that's a playmaker. Mark Andrews isn't a playmaker. Hollywood Brown isn't a playmaker. Des Bryant isn't a playmaker. Devin Duvernay is not a playmaker.
You mentioned Des. We want to say, congratulations to Des.
Absolutely.
He worked very hard to get all the way back, and he's back now. And he's in the game. He had 4 catches for 28 yards.
I was happy for him.
On the flip side of that, so, congratulations to Des.
Yep.
On the flip side of that, shame on you, John Harbaugh and Greg Roman and Eric Acosta, for signing Des Bryant and thinking that was doing something. Okay? the Titans, you could tell when Des was on the field because they ignored him. The corners were playing 10, 12 yards off, and they just let him catch the ball because who cares? He's going to catch it, and he's going to get tackled right where he caught it. So who cares?
I will say this, because there are a lot of people that are like, hey, why aren't you throwing the ball to Des and let him, work with the ball afterwards? I agree to a certain extent. I don't think Des is that same Des Bryant that he used to be, right? So no, I don't really think much would have came of it, but I would much rather prefer throwing a ball to Des Bryant on a slant or whatever than running a predictable option that gets you no yards, right? Yeah. So throw the ball to Des Bryant and see what he can do. Like, that's why he's there. See what he can do. I could be completely wrong on Des Bryant, right? I don't think I am, but you won't know unless you get the ball in his hands. And that was a perfect opportunity to try to get him some reps and see if he can do anything with it.
Well, look, he got plenty of reps, right? He was targeted 5 or 6 times in the game. He caught 4 of them for 28 yards.
Yeah.
One of the plays went for 16 yards because he picked up a couple blocks. And he didn't. Yeah, but what I'm saying is, if he didn't get the block on the outside, he's not getting 16 yards, right?
Yeah.
So this seems like, to me, not the offensive coordinator saying, "Hey, what will work for us? What can we do to improve this offense?" It seems like they said, "We have Dez. How can we get Dez involved?" And the answer is just throw a screen so he doesn't have to beat anybody in coverage. But that's not what's best for the team.
Yeah.
That's what's best for Dez.
Yeah. Yeah. You said it before. Greg Roman is not a complete offensive coordinator. He's a run game coordinator. Mm-hmm. So when it comes to getting the wide receivers involved in the passing game, he's always going to fall short. He just doesn't know what he's doing. He cannot scheme these guys open. And if he has the right scheme, these guys don't know what to do to adjust to the ball, right? To make a tough catch. Like, they don't know how to do any of these things. And that's on coaching, and that's on them just being young players, right? Yeah. I put it more on coaching because it's your job to get them ready for this.
Well, I wouldn't even say necessarily them being young, because young players do that. Talented young players do that. And Lamar missed a couple plays in this game. There was a play early, one of the earlier drives, where he kind of underthrew Mark Andrews in the end zone. So that was incomplete. There was a play where Hollywood beat his man, and Lamar was late with the pass. So they the defender got back into it, kind of knocked it away in the back of the end zone.
Yeah.
And, people will point that out and say, "Oh, Lamar's got to do better." And, that's true. He can make better throws on those plays. The problem is, again, we've said this multiple times, every quarterback makes throws like that, and their receiver helps them out.
Yeah.
But that doesn't happen in Baltimore. So all you remember is, man, he was late with that Hollywood throw. That could have been a touchdown. Oh, he underthrew Mark Andrews. That should have been a touchdown. Because there's, they don't come back and make another play, to wipe that out.
Yeah. So the Hollywood play, yes, he was definitely late because he did have a step on his guy. If it's better time, that's a touchdown. Okay, it is what it is with that one. The Mark Andrews play, I really want to focus in on, because with that one, I don't think it was late, right? Maybe just a shade late, but he was able to get his hands on it. The defender was just able to knock.
Yeah. I don't think he was late. He was underthrown. Like, he needed to throw it deeper into the end zone, because he kept the defender in the play with the throw.
But but the difference is, and this is why I say Mark Andrews isn't a playmaker. Mm-hmm. The first touchdown that the Titans threw, that Tannehill threw to Jonnu Smith.
Yeah.
Right. That wasn't a perfect pass to him.
That was a bad pass.
Yes. He snatched the ball from the defender. He just went up and took it. Right. He was aggressive. Mark Andrews, right, a similar situation. He's falling back, waiting for the ball to fall into his hands instead of attacking the ball. Right. He even try to make a play on it. Right. That's why I say that we don't have playmakers on this team. Right. If Lamar doesn't deliver the perfect pass, the play doesn't get made. That's why every incompletion that Lamar makes is always talked about, because he's the only one that can make it happen on this team.
Yeah. Mark Andrews had another play later on in the game where he was fairly open, and the throw was a little more inside than obviously Mark Andrews would have liked it. Yeah. And he put up one hand and it kind of bounced off the inside of his hand. And he couldn't make the play on it. And watching the replay, I'm just like, the ball was up in the air early. He had a couple steps on his defender. All he really had to do was turn upfield a little bit, right? Instead of continuing, on a trajectory towards the sideline, and turn up the field a little bit more and get both hands on the ball. But again, no adjustment at all from Mark Andrews. Just, hey, the ball's here now. Let me throw up a hand, and I didn't get it. And then it's bad pass Lamar. Whereas if anybody saw the highlights from the Minnesota and Dallas game, you see CeeDee Lamb falling down in the end zone, contorting his body, adjusting to the pass and making the catch for a touchdown. You see Adam Thielen making a one-handed catch in the back corner of the end zone and getting both feet down. You see the Chiefs, you see Travis Kelce, getting 1 foot down and dragging his toe on the sideline to make a catch for the first down. And it's just things that don't happen with the receivers in Baltimore.
Yeah, and going back to Travis Kelce, even before that, there was a play where they're trying to pick up a first down, and he's breaking off to the right. His route is taking him to the right, and Mahomes rolls out to the left. He sees his quarterback needing help, needing a bailout, and he breaks his route and runs back with Mahomes, the direction Mahomes is going in, so Mahomes can throw a nice little one-handed sidearm, a little sidearm throw, and he's able to come down with the catch. These are things that our receivers and even Mark Andrews they just don't know how to do. I don't put it all on them, right? They're young. They have to be coached to do this stuff. And I just don't think that's happening over there.
But that's enough about the offense. I mean, for the most part, they played well. They put up 24 points. Yeah. They protected pretty well. I mean, granted, the Titans don't have a very good defense, but 24 points again should be enough to win that game if you're Baltimore.
Yeah.
The defense, you can say they played well for the majority of the game, but it doesn't matter. You gave up 30 points, and it wasn't because Brandon Williams wasn't there and Calais Campbell wasn't there. Like, you're getting beat through the air also. Yeah. On the touchdown in overtime, Derek Wolfe had a shot to make the tackle, didn't make it. He came out today and said it was on him and nobody else. Okay, that's cool, taking responsibility, but that's not true. Yeah, he missed the tackle, but Malik Harrison and Patrick Queen both got washed out of the play. They just weren't there.
Yeah.
Nobody was able to run him down. He scores, game over. But again, Marcus Peters, there were plays out there where he looked like he wasn't even trying.
Same thing with Marlon Humphrey, right? And I believe even before that touchdown, he gave up a big pass to Corey Davis.
Right? And he had a long pass interference on the first drive of the game.
Yeah. They both were just you could chalk it up to a bad day because we know those are good cornerbacks. Mm-hmm. But if the defense has a bad day, we can't respond like we need to on offense.
Right.
They put up 24 points, and that should be enough, but it wasn't enough. We needed one more touchdown.
Or, they needed one more field goal, right? Yeah. They had the ball late, well, not late, midway through the fourth quarter, and they're, up 21-16, and they're trying to put the game away. Lamar scrambles, almost gets the first down. They call him, short by, half a yard or whatever. You line up to get the first down on third and short, and it's false start on Mark Andrews.
Yes.
Right. Without those kind of mistakes, you can continue that drive, kick a field goal. Then the Titans touchdown only ties the game, and you can go down the field, kick your field goal, and win 27-24.
Exactly.
But again, it's an undisciplined, poorly coached, and poorly constructed team.